Hi there, this is the quarter one review, and we're going to start with some problems where we have to order numbers or decide which is bigger or smaller. That means everything has to be in the form of a percent. So this says complete the following statement with less than, greater than, or equal to. And it says 120% blank 8 divided by 5. So I came to my calculator, I put the 123% there just so I would not forget it. Then I converted the fraction 8 over 5 times 100 to 160%. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to make sure I have a pen to write with. And I'm going to write 160%. So are 123% and 160% equal? They are not. Is 123% less than 160? It definitely is. So that's what would go there. Okay? So let's go to the next one. It says, which number is between 25% and 1/3? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is put the 25% and the 1/3 in my calculator, and I'm going to convert the 1/3 to a percent. So I've got what's between 25% and 33.3%. Then I'm going to come down and I'm going to work on all of my choices. So I've got 3 divided by 4, and I'm going to make that a percent by multiplying by 100. Then I've got 0.56. I'm going to make it a percent by multiplying by 100. I've got 2.9%, so I just put the sign there so I remember it. And 2.78 times 10 raised to the -1 power, but I've got to convert that to a percent, so I have to multiply by 100. So now I've got these 4 numbers: 75%, 56%, 2.9%, and 27.8%. And we need to choose the one between 25 and 33. Now, you can probably just look at your calculator and make that decision, but I'm going to be very careful since this is going to be a benchmark and it's going to be a very important thing to remember. And I'm going to go ahead and write down all the percentages by their corresponding numbers there. And I'm going to look. I know 75% is not in the middle between 25 and 33. I know 56 is not in the middle. I know 29 is not in the middle. It's way too small. So that leaves me with 27.8 is definitely between those two numbers. You just have to be careful and take your time and practice. Don't just watch me do it. Start at the beginning of the video, stop it, and then go ahead and make sure you can do it too. All right? This one says to put these in descending order. So let's start with descending. Descending means we're going down. So we're starting with big and we're going to small. So let's start by putting these all in the calculator. 1 space 3 divided by 5. You got to remember that space in there. And let's make it a percent by multiplying by 100. 9.24 times 10 raised to the -2 power. Again, I have to make it a percent. If there's no percent sign, you've got to multiply by 100. Same goes for pi. Pi is not a percent, so I have to make it 1 by multiplying by 100. Then I have 1.457 times 10 raised to the 5th power. Again, let's make it a percent times 100. And then finally, I have negative, that's important, square root of 225. And I've got to make that a percent. So I'm going to multiply it by 100. So far, I've got negative 1,500%. I've got, 1 million, excuse me, that's 1,457,000,000, no. That's 14,570,000,000. No, that's wrong too. That's 14,570,000%. That was crazy. Sorry. That's 314.2%. That's 9.24%, and that's 160%. And we are going from big to little. Well, I think there's no doubt that this guy right here that I couldn't even figure out is the biggest. So I'm going to put a number 1 under them because they are definitely the biggest. Then I'm going to look for the next biggest. That would be 314 would be the next biggest. So I'm going to put a number 2 under that. Remember, that negative is not big. It is small. All right. And then I'm going to look for the next biggest, which is going to be 160. So that would be number 3. And I'm going to get rid of that one. And I'm going to keep asking for the biggest because I'm going from the biggest to smallest. The biggest here is the 9.24. And then finally, the smallest would be that negative number, and that would be right here. Okay? A lot of this is just taking your time, making sure you don't forget the steps, and making sure that you know what this vocabulary means. All right? You guys are going to do great. I believe that. Okay? We're going to stop here, and we'll go to the next video.